The clock was ticking. Time was running out. Every second felt like an eternity, each tick echoing the urgency of the situation. Lewis could feel the pressure mounting, the weight of the unknown pressing down on him. He had been in tight spots before, but this was different. This was personal. Inside the envelope, there was a single piece of paper with just 4 words: "Find her before midnight." His heart raced. The handwriting was hurried, almost frantic, as if the writer had been in a rush. Who was she? Why was she so important? Questions swirled in his mind, but there was no time for answers. He had to act. No sender, no name, nothing else but a sense of urgency. The envelope was plain, nondescript, giving away nothing about its origin. It was as if it had materialized out of thin air, a ghostly messenger of impending doom. Lewis felt a chill run down his spine. He knew he was being watched, but by whom? He scanned the missing persons files, nothing recent. The faces of the lost stared back at him, each one a story of despair and hope. He flipped through the pages, his mind racing to connect the dots. Time was slipping away and he was no closer to finding her. Then a colleague mentioned a case from 5 years ago. It was a long shot, but it was all he had. The case had been cold for years, a mystery that had baffled the department. But now, it seemed to hold the key to the present crisis. A woman named Anna Porter vanished without a trace. Her face was hauntingly familiar, a ghost from the past. Lewis remembered the case well. It had been one of his first major assignments, a failure that had haunted him ever since. Now it seemed fate was giving him a second chance. Exactly on this date. The coincidence was too strong to ignore. It was as if the universe had conspired to bring him back to this moment, to this woman. He felt a strange sense of destiny, a pull that he couldn't resist. Lewis knew his time was short, less than an hour. The seconds seemed to mock him, each one a reminder of his impending failure. He had to move fast, think faster. Every decision counted. Every move could be his last. He rushed to the address in the old file. The streets blurred as he sped through the city. His mind focused on the task at hand. He could feel the weight of the envelope in his pocket, a constant reminder of the stakes. Failure was not an option. A rundown house on the outskirts of town. It looked abandoned, a relic of a forgotten past. But Lewis knew better. He could sense the presence of something sinister, a darkness that lurked within. He took a deep breath and steeled himself for what lay ahead. As he approached, he saw a flickering light inside. It was a beacon in the darkness, a sign that he was on the right track. He felt a surge of hope, but it was quickly tempered by caution. He knew he had to be careful. One wrong move could spell disaster. He kicked the door open. The sound echoed through the empty house, a violent intrusion into the silence. He stepped inside, his senses on high alert. The air was thick with tension, every shadow a potential threat. An old clock ticked down to midnight. The sound was deafening, a constant reminder of the time slipping away. Lewis felt his heart pound in his chest. He had to find her, and fast. A woman tied to a chair, unconscious but alive. Her face was pale, her breathing shallow, but she was alive. Lewis felt a surge of relief, but it was quickly replaced by a sense of urgency. He had to get her out of there. He freed her just as the clock struck 12. The sound of the clock was like a gunshot, a final punctuation to the night's events. He felt a sense of triumph, but it was short-lived. A chilling voice crackled through a hidden speaker. "Well done, detective." The voice was cold, emotionless, a stark contrast to the chaos of the night. It sent a shiver down Lewis's spine. He knew this was far from over. "Shall we play again next year?" The words hung in the air, a sinister promise of future torment. Lewis felt a mix of anger and determination. He knew he had won this round, but the game was far from over. He would be ready. Next year, he would be ready.